Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Crimi-Trent. It's Floral Friday and we're working on some joy today. A Christmas theme again, so I'll show you how to do this tutorial. It's really simple and easy. A lot of fun to do. You can do multiple ways of creating this technique, and I'll talk about it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Also, don't forget to hit the bell notification button to know my tutorials are up, and check out my Patreon. The link is in the description box and my about page. I have exclusive tutorials that are not seen on YouTube and ad-free videos from YouTube over there, as well as traceables. And it's a great place to support my channel. So head over there on that link and you can see all the tiers that I have. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, to start with, I have a piece of Arches 100% cotton cold pressed paper. This is a 7" by 10" I taped down. What I did was I printed out the word joy, and I used this is the typeface Times Roman, and I just printed out the piece of paper. There's a size that I wanted, the paper size that I liked. I printed it out and used, you can buy this graphite paper. Actually, I should put a link in my on my description box. Graphite paper, I didn't really think about this one, that I use a lot in some of my tutorials. You put it underneath and then you trace it. They come in like this, you know, the graphite, and they also come in white graphite paper too. If you were going to do it on a dark surface using gouache or acrylic or something. Or if you don't have that, you just flip over the piece of paper, you take a number 2 pencil, you go across the whole entire thing, and then you flip it, and then you trace it, and you get words. And then I have this link in my description box. I used masking fluid, and I put it over the letters because we're going to paint all on top of around the letters. And this is the best way to do it without wrecking the words. And when you lift it up, you can leave the white, or you can paint it another color, but at least you have like the crisp lines of the word that you have. So I have my paints. I go over them as I use them. I always have them in the description box. And my palette with the paints in here. I'll be using probably my Grumbacher 10 goldenedge series brush and my Princeton 8 long round velvet touch brush. And I just kind of lightly sketched out maybe some kind of poinsettias. It's a Christmas theme, and some other maybe poppies on the side here. You can just lightly sketch out kind of placement, but basically you're going to be placing all the flowers or foliage, whatever you want, around it. It doesn't have to be flowers. I'm doing flowers because it's Floral Friday. You could do blues and then just put snowflakes around. We'll do a blue wash, snowflakes around, green wash, greens, you know, bunch of different things. Like I said, I'm doing flowers because it's Floral Friday, but think of other things you could do. You just do colors. You can just do swatches of like squares or triangles or circles of different multicolors. You know, you can just do a funky watercolor wash itself and throw in some golds and silvers. Get creative, you know. It's just give you another idea of something to do. And because it's Floral Friday, I will be doing flowers. So I'm going to take up my Grumbacher 10. I like this brush. It's got a rounder tip than the Princeton, see? And I'm going to make some reds up. So I'm going to use my magenta. Got a bunch of magenta out here. And I do have a carmine red, but I think that I'd like to make the red itself with the magenta and the yellow. This is the cadmium yellow deep. Get some of this yellow out here. And mix them together, and I get this really nice bright red. I think it makes a brighter red than the carmine right out of the tube. You know, it's fun to experiment making your own reds too. So obviously it's Christmas colors that I'm going to be using. Reds, greens, mostly reds and greens. So get a fair amount of paint painted up here, and I'll show you how to make a poinsettia without having to draw it. So you just put a poinsettia over here. You're just going to be doing this simple little line, and then push down and connect that little tip just like that. And then the poinsettia, when we go back over it, we'll have like the veins. Push down, connect with a little tip. See, same thing here. Really simple, loose poinsettia. It's just a simple stroke movement. See, I'm curving the brush. and then pulling it up. So it's pushing down and pulling up. It's this constant motion. Or you can just go like that. This brush has been used a lot, so my tip is kind of worn. I'm going to show a video on how to fix them. If they've been worn out a little bit, you can kind of rejuvenate them. Because I actually bought another Princeton long round brush because I killed it. And I'll put a little half flower here. You know, while it's still wet, we can mix on the side some darker reds. Now I've got this magenta over here. I'm sorry, crimson over here. And I can mix it with some Prussian blue. Get a little deep color in here. I'm just going to throw some of that in there. But you don't have to do that. So I'm going to paint a few of these poinsettias. Just going over here. Don't keep in mind that the more water you have, the lighter it's going to dry. So you might have to go back in and either go on top of it again or add some deeper tones to that. See, this is pretty wet. A little bit lighter than this one because this had a lot of pigment and less water. So I got a few of these. Now I'm not going to put a ton of poinsettias around this painting. I'm just going to put them kind of all on this kind of side, and then I'm going to do other flowers on the other side. Keeping in mind, of course, the Christmas colored theme. And I've shown you how to do that. I'm going to do some like anemone type poppies over here. And I've shown this so many times how to make them. Kind of like that, like a half moon. And then swirl it again. Go like that. And like that. Really simple. Okay, so to that, I had to actually, I pulled out a little more on the side here so it wasn't so rounded. I'm going to put a couple of layers in that one. And this one, just going to go like this, little, and then see how I did a little wiggle? So it has a little bumps going here. Same thing with this one. It's like a side view of the poppy slash flower. So it's kind of pale pink. It's going to dry. I'm going to add another layer to it. We're going to keep playing with more fleurs. We can use white. You can use just reds and greens. Like I said, I'm going to mix some more color. Oops. Goodness. Klutz. I just made a huge mess. Gonna make some more red. I think I'm gonna do a rose, so I'm gonna grab my Princeton 8 long round and take this nice deep crimson, deep red color, and I'll start off with that one first, and then to make a rose. So let me show you real close. I do this little line, see those little lines like that, leaving spaces of white in between. And then I'll clean off my brush. I'll have some water on it, and I'll just kind of hit. So you just keep moving it around like this. Push that paint around with the water, and you have this loose rose. And use the tip. I just kind of push this around like this, get some little lines going this way. And if it dries too light, you can go back over it and add some darker paint. Okay, being very interrupted in my house today. So, again, do another rose over here. point the lines like I showed you. I have a bunch of rose tutorials, so you guys can just push that paint around like so, and get this nice loose rose. You want to go back in and add some of that deeper color and have it bleed out. Do that. It's like a deep red, burgundy kind of color. All right, at this point I'm going to start to kind of add some greenery. I have my olive green here. So mix up this green. It's a nice bright green. I'll add a little Van Dyke brown to it, just to take out that brightness just a touch. And then over here I'm going to mix some green with the Prussian blue. So you got this bluish green. Can't see that. Let me see that. There we go. The Prussian blue green up here. So I have two tones going, ready to go. Clean up my brush. And we're just going to make some simple greenery, you know, around all the flowers. So I'll put some leaves like this, just a curved line, just similar to the poinsettia, going in like that. Grab some more of this color. And you can put it right in here, right over those letters. Now, keep in mind that most of the foliage this time of year isn't going to be that bright, so we're going to add all these different tones. So, going over here and adding in foliage over here. We'll add more flowers too, but I'm just going to try and start to place some of the greens. If you are more inclined to plan it out, you can draw it all out first too. Then I'm going to get some darker, deeper greens that are like winter green. So you get this, just a simple line, and you can just take the brush and go out like this, pushing out the greeny like that. If it goes over the poinsettia, that's fine. Out here, same thing. Just going to put a bunch of different greens along with the foliage and the flowers. And also berries, don't forget to do some berries. You want to just change everything up. So we have the Van Dyke brown right here. Take some of that, I'll add some magenta to that, just a little reddish brown. Change up the brown a little bit. And from here, you can figure where you want the branches to go. They're going to go like this way or that way. I might have some come out over here. See? And out over here. And we'll put berries on the branches. I haven't quite finished this whole area yet over here. Put some out here. So you play around where you're going to put that. I think I need another flower in here. You know, you can make it a white one. It could be a burgundy. It can be purple, blue, whatever color you want. We're still sticking with the Christmas theme. So I might do like if I did a white rose and have the white letters, it's not going to make sense. You need a color. So again, I'll go back in with red. And I'll just do a simple rose in a different way. So I put the color down. I'm just going to keep pushing the color around like this. I'm making more of a burgundy. So I'm going to grab some of that crimson with the Prussian blue. Ooh, too purpley. Some magenta. Maybe grab a little black. Get this burgundy kind of color. Rose. This deep red rose. And I'm going to fix that color over in here too. So you get two kinds of reds, or actually three, because we'll have like the palish pink one. We'll have this deep red rose. You can make a different type of flower, like I've shown you in the burgundy and navy flowers. Kind of just goes like this. Just pushing the, it looks a little on the purple side, but that's okay. Grab a little yellow. Mixing up that color. So it's kind of like a chrysanthemum, but you're just kind of pushing this paintbrush around like this. Just a loose flower. If you want, if it makes it easier for yourself to flip the picture upside down, and that helps. So now you can get the feel for the flower. Makes it much easier. And the same thing like on the side. So I'll put one over here. Just a smaller one. Like that. Again, you know, just move the paper around. It makes things a lot easier for yourself. Pull out this rose a little bigger. Put it back. And maybe put one of those little ones over here. Just getting a feel for where it should go. And then of course the berries, they could be blue, they could be red. I'm going to keep them in the red tones. Just do some simple pretty berries. It can be really, really loose. Don't worry if they're not perfectly circular. I don't tend to paint my berries that way. I like it to have this really loose quality to it. See, they're not perfectly circular, and that works fine for me. You obviously know that they're berries because of this circular type of shape. And just keep playing with that. So this anemone poppy flower, see, it was pretty pale. You can go back in now and add in the second layer. So just go up here and add in the layer. Just like that. Just filling it in. See how I kind of added another layer. You can do the same thing with the poinsettia. So you put the vein in and you can kind of like, see how you do a loose vein, the line down the middle, and then just push in some color along that line. And see how this dried out. If that dried out too pale for you, you can go back in and go on top of that. But we're just taking the tip of this brush and making these real loose lines in the poinsettias. And then going back out and flushing out the little veins on the poinsettias. And then here you can put like a darker one underneath because it's kind of underneath this particular petal. If you want to get real technical, you put another one under here, kind of pointing outward. That's darker than this one. Same thing with this one, like it's a little darker here. And it's kind of underneath this one. And you can put another one here. play around with that. Because you know, poinsettias have those little layers of flowers on top of each other, underneath each other. And then you can get that vein. See, and just put the little veins, line down, line going. Let me show you up close. So it's a line down, and then this line's curving downward on the petal. Down, curving downward, just like that. And I don't really go perfectly across all the petals, as you can see here. At the same time, let me pull this down. The poppy, anemone tick flower, you can get some more dark tones in here. And just start like, see, I'm making those little lines that go upward. Just like that. From the center outward. And you could put a few on the edge. Go back in, add those lines to details to your poinsettia. Just like that. So we're going to add in some more greenery. Move them back up. To the spaces that are not touched, because you want to make sure that everything around the J, the O, the Y is completely filled in. So I'll grab my greenery. I haven't used much of the dark greenery. Grab some dark greens, and I'll start flushing in. Even if it's not a perfect petal, you just kind of throw the greens in, just so that you're covering those areas behind the letters. See, I'm not really putting in particular leaf shape, but I am putting in greens behind the letters. Otherwise, yeah, put some veins in this one. And this one needs some greenery. Just like this nice big leaf coming down here behind the poinsettia. And some more greenery coming off that. Just simple greens. Just keep filling in, oops, little areas that seem white around by the letters. You can just look around, make sure you've got, yep, see this one over here is empty. I need some greens over in here. Might do some nice wispy ones, like those simple evergreen. They're really simple with your brush. So you're just taking your brush, pulling it down, and just making these little marks coming off the edge of the branch, just like that. Just do a couple like that. Really simple. And I'll put some more greens in here. I'm getting close to filling it up. I'm going to keep adding a little more greenery around the rose. All right, we're going to keep going around here, just tweaking, adding some more greenery. See, I'm just pushing more of those little sprigs of like pines, pine needles. Think of all the greens you can put, like some eucalyptus type of leaves. It doesn't have to be like pine needles that I'm doing. I like them because they're pretty easy and it just screams like Christmas. See, it's pretty easy to do. Very easy to paint. Just like that. Little sprigs. You can't kind of mess them up. And this kind of section over here needs a little something something, right? Maybe some simple leaves just coming out. And then another leaf over here. Just kind of play around how you want it to look. And at this point, you're going to just be doing real simple, you're going to be adding details. You know, you're going to be going in and adding poinsettia details, the little yellow in the middle, the brown. The poppy flower, going to be adding the yellow brown center. I'll take the brown or the black around that. It's a little loose. Just kind of fill that in. This is still wet. You just do those little dots like I show you on the outside of the flower. And then just take your tip and just kind of make these little lines going outward towards the little stems there. Really simple and loose. And then I take a little bit of your black, hit around the inside of that poinsettia by the yellow. See, I'm just dapping it. And then you're going to do the tweaking of like the leaves, you know, adding in the veins of all the leaves. Everything has to be done before you lift up that masking fluid. And then after that, you're going to really tweak it. So I'm just going to tweak in some shadowing of the greenery here with a darker green. This is still wet, but you go in and tweak in all the things you want. The veins and the greenery. If you want to add more berries, some darker tones. Green, come and put some in here. You want multiple colors of different greens. And a little bit dark blackish underneath it. Just add some deeper tones under that poinsettia just to pull it up. Don't be afraid of doing things like that. It's very white in there and it doesn't make sense. So I put a little black on my brush, a little green, and there's little white spots in between the flowers. I'm just kind of filling in with that color. You know, it's like the background color. Don't be afraid to do that. See, I'm just tweaking in some of those areas. So that poinsettia really gets pulled out when you do that. Anytime you put a dark color next to the light color, it's going to pull it right up. So you can really get a feel. See, now you're looking around the J. It's still missing some greenery. So it pops up when you take it up. You want to look around and make sure all your letters are covered with some kind of floral fauna foliage. So I'm going to put some more greenery just coming out of here. All right, I think I'm almost done. And of course, do not lift up the masking fluid until everything is completely dry. Here I'm just going to tweak in, adding some darker greens. Oh, see, I noticed that the Y has some areas that are white. So make sure around that it is not. Otherwise it won't pop as much and you'll be sad. Just want to make sure it's all covered around by those letters. Okay, looking back, it's almost there. I feel like the flowers need to be tweaked a little more, just a tad, add a little deeper tone. So I'm going to grab some of that magenta, the red, and add some Prussian blue. It's kind of muddy red. Add some crimson. All right. We can go in and tweak in from the center of the poinsettia. It's looking a little flat. See, I stood up, sat back, and looked from a distance to see how it looks. So I'm adding in some deeper tones. Yeah, these leaves look a little flat in here. Okay, and the veins in here. And notice how I'm grabbing the darker color towards the center, pushing it outward. Just like that. This one's really kind of dull. And there are pink poinsettias, so you can keep making it not so dark if you don't want it to be. I'm just going to change it up a little bit. It's almost there. Just feel like it was not quite up to what I like. And the same thing goes with this. I'll just add a little couple, some details, a little bit of darker tones. And with the berries, same thing. If they dry too late. Okay, I think it looks good now. All right, so we're gonna dry this and we're gonna reveal our masterpiece. I did notice that it seems a little floral heavy up here and not down here, so I might just grab some more, put some like more berries down here. Not enough red or something in that area. Yeah, it looks a little too floral heavy on top. I had to add something down below. Okay, so I'm gonna dry this and come back. Okay, so I completely dried it. Also, you could have added in some gold touches and tweaks all throughout here, which I didn't do. I could have grabbed my gold palette and thrown in some of those, but I'm not gonna do that now. So here's the rubber cement pickup. This is the link to this is in my description box. I have all the links to paints and whatnot. Make sure it's completely dry, because then color is going to be revealed on your letters. So we just go like this. Look at that. You got the O. And we got the Y. I did a similar tutorial, spring colors with the letter, just an initial. So you can scroll through and watch that if you want. But those were spring colors. So this is just something you can do. Doesn't want to come up. There we go. And if you want to make it smoother, you can go in and add some gouache. I don't really mind that some of the edges are rough. But there you go, look how pretty that is, you know? Maybe make a great sign that you could put on. See, I taped it down so it would stay in place. You frame it, and you can have it every year to put up. You know, you can do somebody's name if they have a Christmas birthday. Be kind of pretty. So there you go. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Also, again, don't forget to check out my Patreon. I have exclusive tutorials over there. Weekly. This week we did some cute Christmas card characters. And I have some other ones that I did last week that are kind of cool too. Thanks guys so much for stopping by my channel, and take care. Have a great weekend, and I will speak to you soon.